At 21-20, third in the AL East, 6.5 games behind the Rays. Will they even make the playoffs? Buster Olney joins us to assess the season.
The summer of DJ continues. Dustin Johnson won the Tour Championship yesterday at Eastlake. His third win since the restart. In doing so, Johnson pocketed $15 million and took home the FedEx Cup title. Next up, the U.S. Open in 2 weeks at Winged Foot.
Bucks coach Mike Budenholzer says Giannis Antetokounmpo continues to get treatment on his right ankle sprain, but wouldn't make a call on whether he will play in Game 5 against the Heat with his team trailing 3-1, officially listed as questionable on Monday's injury report.
The other series in the East, the Celtics blitzed the Raptors yesterday to take a 3-2 series lead. Boston outscored Toronto 25-11 in the first and never looked back. Jaylen Brown led the way with 27. The Celtics will try to close it out in Game 6 tomorrow night. Much closer game last night between the Nuggets and Clippers. Series tied at 1 heading into this Game 3. You see Kawhi there and Nikola Jokic as well. Jokic, such a great outlet passer. Watch him go. One hand, doesn't need to bring it down, and throws the deep ball to Jeremy Grant for the score. Yep, Jokic loves that kind of thing. Paul George, he's looked lost at times in Orlando, but not last night. 27 points through 3 quarters, finished with 32. Michael Porter Jr. going to work.
Oh.
On Montrezl Harrell climbing the stairs. His dad, I think he's smiling. I can't quite tell. MPJ had 18 and 10 boards. The Nuggets had the lead, up 4 after 3 quarters. Let's go to crunch time. This game came down to clutch time. That's defined as a game within 5 points in the final 5 minutes. Nuggets so good, plus 16 in clutch time this postseason. NBA best 3-1 in those games. Clippers 1-1. Kawhi finding Ivica Zubac. Yes, and the foul. Paul Millsap trying to deny, and Zubac went right through him. The Clippers get the lead by 1 after the foul shot. Next possession for the Nuggets, Jamal Murray called for an offensive foul. Murray 0 for 6 with George as his primary defender. So Paul George doing it at both ends of the floor. And then Leonard knocking down the shot from the foul line. Clippers up by 3. They were up 6. Murray trying to throw down over Kawhi, and there's the play everyone's talking about. Somehow he rejected that ball, and you will see his middle finger providing the resistance right there. Yeah, that's the claw, baby. Extending the finger, and that was it. As the Clippers win Game 3 to take a 2-1 lead. A lot of chatter about Kawhi's block afterwards.
I thought that play by Kawhi was amazing. I didn't know it was with one finger. I thought he just blocked it, but it was impressive. I didn't even know where he came from. So it was a heck of a play.
Well, that's an extra long middle finger. Like it kept growing or something. You know, that's Kawhi, man. Big time player. I mean, the mitts is something else.
The middle finger block. There's a metaphor in there somewhere. I'm not gonna find it right now. The Clippers defense put the clamps on in the fourth after allowing Denver to shoot over 50% from the field and 40% on threes over the first 3 quarters. The Clippers held the Nuggets to 19 points in the fourth and just 1 for 9 on 3-pointers. Let's bring in our NBA analyst now, Tim Legler. Legs, you take a look at that Clippers defense in the fourth quarter. What stood out to you about that team D?
Yeah, Doc Rivers wasn't very complimentary about his defense until the end of the game, but I actually thought it was better than he said, particularly the way they guarded Jamal Murray. And they have got a number of guys they can throw at Jamal Murray that have great length and great athletic ability. And they really hounded him and harassed him and just didn't give him any space. You see right here, Paul George, great job staying lateral with him and then gets upright, takes the charge. And then what ends up happening is when you start paying attention to Murray and Jokic, somebody's going to get open looks. And Jeremy Grant had some really key misses in the fourth quarter of this game, getting good looks in the corner. And then this is the play that's going to get all of the highlight footage. But this was just the last one by Kawhi Leonard. I actually thought collectively what they did to Jamal Murray, particularly in the fourth quarter, just to make his night a little bit more miserable, that really is why the Clippers ultimately held on to this game. And it's a shame for Denver on a night when Jokic was sensational. They got a third scorer in Michael Porter Jr., which they're going to have to get out of somebody every night in this series. On a night like that, Jamal Murray just has a really hard time putting the ball in the basket. And as a result, the Clippers now take control 2-1.
It's been a great series, tightly played through the first 3 games. But, yes, the Clippers have the lead thanks to that fourth quarter comeback. Legs, stay right there. Tony, let's get to you.
Yeah, meanwhile, David, the Lakers will try to take the lead in their series tonight against the Rockets. In Game 1, James Harden and Russell Westbrook combined to score 60 points as the Rockets beat the Lakers 112-97. For all their offensive prowess, the Rockets use defense to help them win the game by holding the Lakers under 100 points and mark the 3rd time they've done that this postseason. The Rockets only did that 4 times during the regular season. Now, let's talk about Game 2. That was on Sunday, and Anthony Davis had 34 points and 10 rebounds. LeBron James was just shy of a triple-double with 28, 11, and 9. The Lakers also got 41 points from their bench as they survived a 41-point third quarter by the Rockets to win 117-109 and even the series. Davis's performance was his 5th 25-point, 10-rebound game this postseason. That is the most in a single postseason by a Lakers since Shaq in 2003-04. David?
Yeah, you expect the stars to show up. The Rockets star Russell Westbrook has not legs. Just 10 points on 4 of 15 shooting in Game 2. He said afterwards, I'm just running around out there. What are you seeing with Westbrook, and how can he change things up tonight?
Yeah, look, if there was a worse game offensively for Russell Westbrook that he's ever played in the playoff game, I'd like to see it because he really struggled the other night. And he's missed some time, so he's a little bit rusty. But right now, what he's trying to do is make too much happen when he gets the basketball. He's not processing the defense. That's what led to all the turnovers. He's just going with his head down, taking it into bad situations on the floor, throwing the ball away, dribbling off his leg, getting lost a little bit there, and it snowballs against him. The harder he tries, the more turnovers he commits. And then with his shooting, he started to fall for the bait of that three-point shot again. And I think one of the reasons I think Russell Westbrook had maybe his best offensive year of his career this year, he stopped taking that shot. And I think he's got to get back to that and understand the mid-range 15-footer is there whenever he wants it. And he's got to get those early surges up the floor where he's getting to the rim to give the Rockets greater balance in their offense. Because in Game 2, it was whatever James Harden gave you and then a ton of three-point shooting. Russell Westbrook gets them easy points, whether he gets it in transition or he gets it with that mid-range shot, which is really unguardable. He needs to give them that balance in their offense, and I think you're going to see him play much better in Game 3. We know how competitive he is. Sometimes I think that competitiveness works against him because he's squeezing the ball a little bit too tightly. I think he needs to just relax, calm down, don't take the three, but give the Rockets what they need right now, which is some easy points.
We'll see if he can channel that legendary intensity into what we got coming up in this one tonight. Legs giving us his thoughts on the NBA postseason.
David, let's go to baseball. Bronx Bombers having a new meaning, taking on the Blue Jays. Last night was the first time the Yankees were playing in Buffalo since 1963 when they lost 5-0 to the International League All-Stars. We'll pick this one up where it happened. Bottom of the 6th, Chad Green pitching for the Yankees. Blue Jays trailing by 4, bases loaded. Rowdy Tellez reaches here first base as Luke Voigt bobbles the ball on the play. So then Santiago Espinal scores. He sets the table. This is their first run of the inning. Now Adam Ottavino pitching for the Yankees. Bases again loaded. Next up, there you have him, Vladdy Guerrero Jr. He got a good piece of that, singles to right field. Biggio and Grichuk, they scored. The Blue Jays cut the deficit, 6-5. That's 3 runs for the Blue Jays. Now Lourdes Gurriel Jr. at the plate. 2 runners in scoring position. Check him out. Singles to left center. Tellez scores. Blue Jays tied at 6. So now we got 4 runs in this inning. So after a walk, we got bases loaded again. Still just 1 out. Travis Shaw delivers. Singles to center. Guerrero and Gurriel Jr., they score. Blue Jays up 8-6. So now we got 6 runs in the 6th. And 2 batters later, once again, bases loaded. Danny Jansen with the grand slam of Ottavino. Jansen says he is not an emotional dude, but hitting this one, he said it was pure happiness. The Blue Jays take a 12-6 lead on a 10-run inning. First time the Blue Jays put up 10 runs in an inning in just over a decade. They go on to win 12-7. With a playoff format in place for the 2020 season, 8 teams in each league make the playoff, the top 2 in each division, along with the next best 2 teams.